Welcome back, high school hockey fans. It's another edition of This Week in Wisconsin Prep Hockey. I'm Mike Hammett with my panel of experts, Burglar, Bill Jr., and Del Scanlon. And Trasher is off in the Great White North this week, I've heard, so he will not be with us tonight. On assignment, I guess you could say. Let's talk about our games of the week. Burglar. Great game between Notre Dame Academy and Verona. A couple of the heavyweights in the state got together, and you were able to check that one out.
I should take myself off mute and then say I was. We originally had planned on doing the championship game of the Wausau West tournament on Saturday. Some of, I think Trasher suspected it would be Notre Dame and Verona, but I think the rest of us had, thought that maybe Wausau West would get in there somehow. But with the snowstorm that came in on Friday, it came from the west and it blocked Eau Claire Memorial from coming over. So there was no four-team tournament. Instead, Wausau West played Verona on Friday night, and West beat Verona 3-0. A nice shutout for Wausau West. And then on Saturday, there was just the one game, Verona and Notre Dame Academy. And Verona came up riding a 12-game winning streak, and they left town riding a 2-game losing streak as Notre Dame beat them 3-2. Notre Dame primarily beat them because they had a very efficient power play. Notre Dame was 2 for 4 on their power play. Verona was 1 for 7 in their chances, although the even strength goal that they scored was, I think it was about 5 seconds after the penalty had elapsed. So it was like an extended power play type of situation. So let's say call it 2 power play goals for each team. Then the game winner was actually early in the third period, right? Like 30 seconds into the third period, Notre Dame just iced the puck, but it went on net, so it wasn't icing. Caden Grant, set the puck up for his defenseman, and the 2 defensemen behind the net, just bad passing between the 2 defensemen, and the puck was picked off by Brendan Gruber, and because Notre Dame had been very aggressive on their forechecking all game, Brendan Gruber got down there quick, intercepted that pass, threw it out front to Sawyer Scholl, and his one-timer ended up being an insurance goal at the time, ended up being the game-winning goal as Verona got a power play goal later in that game. But Notre Dame's power play, they were very good, very patient, worked the puck around, and kept trying to set up the not a back door, but that backside in the face-off circle, that one-time shot that was made famous by Brett Hull and then later, nowadays, Alexander Ovechkin. And they connected on 2 of those. Verona did get one of their own like that in the last, but their power play just not as crisp. They tried forcing too many passes and too many turnovers. And when they did score their second goal and got within a 1-goal game, they called their power play with about a little over 2 minutes left, and were never able to really gain control of the puck for long enough to get their goaltender off, to get the man advantage, to get that 6-on-5 to end the game. Notre Dame was just so aggressive; they just kept attacking and intercepting pucks and just dumping it back down, and the Wildcats weren't able to get their goaltender off and not get that extra attacker on there. So the game ended up 3-2. It was just a really good game. I think Verona was a little more physical, but Notre Dame was patient and moved the puck really well. Just a great game to watch. Definitely worthy of game of the week, and I think I'm going to guess that the trip may end up shaking up our top 6 rankings somewhere along the line.
How much of when you're talking about disruption or not in sync or whatever the case may be of the Verona power play, how much of that was due to what Notre Dame was doing?
Oh, Notre Dame was very aggressive on their attack. They didn't just let them sit back and make passes. They they're aggressive the whole game. Their forwards are constantly moving. They don't give you a whole lot of time to look and find the open guy, and as a result, bad passes get made.
So they pressure the puck.
Yes, they do.
All right.
All game, they're unrelenting. Little bastards. Oh, I didn't say that. I was on mute then, right? Okay. Yeah, unrelenting. They very aggressive.
Well, that was our boys' game of the week, and our girls' game. We had Hayward at Wisconsin Valley Union. That one was postponed. Was that due to more snow up there?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Let's get to our players of the week. Our Wyndham Garden Inn of Fitchburg players of the week, the official home of Wisconsin Prep Hockey during the boys and girls state tournament. And Dell, you've got our winners tonight, girls and boys. So go ahead and give us our winners.
Well, the girls' winner is Zephyrin Jager, forward from Cap City Cougars. On Tuesday evening, in a 7-1 win over the Icebergs, she had 5 assists. On Saturday, she had 3 goals and 2 assists in an 8-2 win over Brookfield. And this was enough to earn Zephyrin the girls' player of the week. On the boys' side, the player is a forward from Onalaska, better known as Carter Staub. And on Monday, he had 4 goals in a 7-2 win over Winona. On Saturday, he had 2 goals in a 6-5 win over Wanakee. And that was enough to earn Carter Staub the boys' player of the week. And this was the Wyndham Garden Inn of Fitchburg players of the week. And back to you, MJ.
Okay, thank you. Guys, I was thinking, how is Onalaska doing this year? Get to take a look at.
I believe they're sitting there with a 12-3 record.
Yeah, they were ranked for a while.
Seems like we haven't mentioned them a whole lot.
Well, they're down in that corner of the state that doesn't get mentioned. I think Burglar's talking to mute.
Okay, as I got them up here.
Yeah, they haven't played a lot of the teams that we're used to seeing in the top 10 or the top 6.
Yeah.
I mean, they got a tie to Eau Claire North, who is a good team. They have a 5-4 loss to Fondy Springs, who is a good team. And then they have that 6-5 loss to Sun Prairie.
And then you look at the rest of the teams, they took care of business, including Wanakee. So, yeah, it looks like Onalaska lacrosse is definitely not missing a beat. Time to move on to our top 6s. Bill Jr., as usual, you tabulate them all and you file them, and this is what you come up with.
Yep, and I still call them the top 10s, even though there's 6 of them. If the Big 10 can have 12 teams in it, I can call them top 10s when there's only 6. This week's...
Sorry.
Yes.
The Big 10 is up to 14.
Jeez. See, I don't keep track.
14? And there sure isn't 14 of them playing hockey, I know that.
No. The girls' top 6 is the same as it was last week. Central Wisconsin, followed by Cap City. Madison Metro Lynx is 3rd. Eau Claire Area Stars is 4th. Fox City Stars is 5th. And the St. Croix Valley Fusion is 6th. Boys D2, also the same as last week. Fondy Springs number 1. Northland Pines 2. Hayward 3. Wanakee 4. McFarland 5. And Superior 6. There is some shakeup in Boys Division 1. Notre Dame Academy moves up 1 spot to 1st. Wausau West moves up 1 spot to 2nd. Verona falls 2 spots to 3rd. University School and Arrowhead flip-flop. University School is 4 this week. Arrowhead is 5. They were reversed last week. And Hudson is still 6th. That's 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks ago, Eau Claire Area was the number 1 team in the girls' rankings. They lost 2 games that week and dropped. And now Verona was the number 1 team in the boys' rankings, lost 2 games and dropped. So I guess it's Fondy Springs' turn this week. I wonder who they play.
When you look at Verona losing those 2 games, it's not like they lost games to a cupcakes. I mean, we're talking top 6 teams. that they lost to.
Well, so did Eau Claire area. One of them was the Central Wisconsin Storm, and the other one was
Right.
the Hudson girls team, which is also a very good team.
Our upcoming games of the week we got coming up Hayward at Northern Pines on Friday night. That's up in the Dome, I take it.
Yeah, I'm going to go do that one.
Are you inducted in the Hall of Fame that night, Bill?
Yeah, I think that's it. To answer your question, Bill, Finding Springs has one game this week, and that would be against Waupun. So they can't lose 2 games this week. So that jinx is going to be officially ended. They only play one. And then next week, the Badgerland Conference Tournament. And I'm sure we'll talk more about that during next week's podcast because we love the Badgerland Conference Tournament. But anyway, back to MJ's thing. Yes, Northland Pines and Hayward, number 2 and number 3 in the Division II rankings. I've been going up to Northland or to Eagle River to the Dome. I don't know, probably at least the last 5 or 6 years to cover the Pines Classic, which usually has Hayward and Northland Pines play the first game, and then University School and Mosinee generally play the second game, and then we always go up and do the championship on Saturday. But we felt that the matchup of Northland Pines and Hayward, like I said, number 2 and number 3 in our Division II rankings, was really worthy of game of the week status this week. So rather than the championship game, I'll be going up there Friday night to watch Pines and the Eagles and the Hurricanes face off.
Plus,
the first game of the tournament.
If we can help it, we try not to make University School the game of the week because people already call us universityschoolprephockey.com.
They do, because every game University School plays, whether it's boys or whether it's girls, every game that they play will have a full write-up with pictures on our website. And is that because we love University School so much that we send somebody there to cover the games? No. It's because University School has somebody who writes up every game, takes pictures at every game, and sends us the write-up and the pictures and posts them. So anybody can do it. Any team can do it. You want more exposure? I mean, there are 5 of us, and we each try to get to a game or 2 each week. And when we do that, we'll, post the pictures and do the write-up of the stories. But, we can't cover every team every game. Northland Pines did it a couple years ago. What was her name, Bill? Quick.
Jocelyn Manji.
Yes. She wrote up stories for all of the boys and all of the girls' games and submitted them. It was great. She was part of their school newspaper, media staff, whatever. She took her job very seriously, and it was wonderful. Del, you were going to say something?
Metro Links has been very good this year about giving us articles and photos too to cover their team.
There you go.
It's that Mike McCursey factor. He's quite the character. He doesn't surprise me at all that he helps out because he's big on high school hockey and has been for many, many years. Speaking of the Mike McCursey, his Metro Links take on Cap City on Tuesday night. Del Scanlon, this is matchup number 2 between these two teams. They're both in the top 6. I believe numbers 2 and 3 off the top of my head. How do you see this one?
Well, they did meet earlier this year, and Cap City ended up winning that game. That was actually supposed to be our game of the week that week. Unfortunately, I ended up making a trip to the emergency room because my granddaughter decided it was a good night to get stitches. But this week, tomorrow evening, we'll be going over to Madison Ice Arena, and we'll see the Cougars playing the Lynx. And right now, the Cougars have the lead with no losses in the Badger Conference, and the Lynx are sitting there 1 game behind them. So this is, to try to get back into a tie for the conference title, and just to, also when it comes to that sectional drive, how's that going to play out? And so that ought to be a good game of the week this week.
Did your granddaughter snitch? Because snitches get stitches.
Nah, she was ran into the bunk bed or something. I can't even remember now what she exactly did, but yeah, I told her, well, she's just getting prepared for her hockey career.
And I don't believe she's graduated from St. Cloud State yet, but Jocelyn Wanji is the video coordinator for the St. Cloud women's hockey team. So, besides writing for Wisconsin Prep Hockey, she has continued along in the sports media path. So, it's something for all you high school students to think about.
Looks good on the resume.
Gotcha.
I think Molly Cook did the same sort of thing. Went from Arrowhead, some stuff with it. Sorry. Homestead. Oh,
she
the
would
Highlanders.
She would get upset about Arrowhead.
Oh, okay. She got upset about a lot of things, but anyway, she did some great coverage for them. Did some stuff for us. Then went on to the University of Minnesota and did the same sort of thing there. So yeah, looks good on the resume. High school students, you're welcome to contribute. In fact, you do that, we'll even get you a pass for the state tournament. We've done that for some of our. We don't really want to call them interns because then NJ gets bad ideas. But I shouldn't have said MJ. It's really Trasher. I mean, everybody knows it's Trasher. But he's not here today, so it wasn't. I guess that's easier to pick on him then. But anyway, yes. Send us your articles. Send your hate mail to Trasher at WisconsinPrepHockey.net. Where were we?
We're on our final thoughts.
What's up next, Uncle Fester?
Yeah. Could be like most of the kids these days and have this look, you know.
Uh-oh, it's the Unabomber.
The hoodie over the. Do I look like a monk now?
Yeah, that's what everybody wants to hear is you guys playing with your hoodies and messing with your mics.
There we go.
There you go, Bill. We're from that side of the tracks, aren't we? Let's talk about the Hobie Baker Award. Usually this is where Trasher chimes in and says, hey, yeah, you know, it's we're looking for a lot of participation on it, but I think Burglar does a better job than I do of imitating our good buddy Trasher.
I don't know. That was spot on.
Yours was good. There's no reason you guys shouldn't be sending us this stuff. It doesn't cost you anything. They provide all the information. Just send us this stuff. There's no reason we shouldn't have 100% participation in this every year. But I think the highest we've ever gotten was 70. And that's just not good enough. Just send us this stuff. Nominate your players.
I was ready to see that soda all over MJ's screen.
That's why I turned off to the side here, just to make sure it wouldn't. Anyways, Hobie Baker. Bill, how do you follow that up? I mean, the coaches are familiar with that stuff. They have the information on that, I take it.
They do. Mike's got all the details. He knows where to get it. But the coaches, they nominate your players. You got to have somebody on the team who's. It doesn't necessarily have to be, and probably it doesn't have to be the best player. Just somebody on your team who cares for the community, cares for the team.
Good person.
Goes above and beyond. Good person, yes.
And Jim Hayes actually sent out the email to all the coaches again today on both the boys and girls side with all the instructions for it. So I know that they, in the last day or two, they should have all received instructions from Jim Hayes again.
Okay, that sounds good. We got I would think, what do we got here? It's January 20th, guys. We're going to be pretty soon looking for nominees for WIPH awards too. Think about it. We're not that far away from February already.
Yeah, it's we should start thinking about players.
No, well, I guess that's what we'll do. I mean, it's going to be coming up pretty soon. We'll have our awards that we'll give out at the state tournament. We'll figure out. We'll give you the details on that.
As
Still,
soon
to
as
be
soon as we,
still to be
know,
determined.
the whole thing's kind of been thrown up
Delmar,
in the air. When's the first championship? Is that like at 10 o'clock on Saturday? Did they move it up, start early, or did they move later?
9 o'clock in the morning, I think, is when it's between 9 o'clock. Is it? But it's in the morning, followed by the girls, then followed by Division One.
Yeah, and we've done our awards at 9 o'clock on Saturday morning, so I guess that's out. Which is probably pretty good because some members of the staff have been known to show up at that awards pretty much hungover at 9 o'clock on Saturday morning. I'm not going to say who, but some have.
I know it wasn't the host because the host just doesn't do that stuff anymore. I would bet it's probably part of the staff that hangs out in the farther reaches of the room.
Oh, we're going to pick on Trasher again then. There we go.
All right. Well, we will get more information on that. We will figure out how we're going to do the boys. Del, are you going to do the girls the same this year as you always do?
We'll do the girls the same as we always do. And one of the things that we did discuss is, we'll discuss that offline on what was discussed on the presentation for the girls.
Okay. Sounds good. So I guess that'll do it for this week. It's a short but sweet show. Appreciate all your comments and everything else you send and tell us. And hate mail or something you want to take, got a beef with us, send it to Trasher. He'll handle it. So for the two Bergs, Delmar and Trasher, who's off north of the border, I'm Mike Hammett. We'll see you next week on This Week in Wisconsin Prep Hockey.